Hi everyone, welcome back, and if this is your first time, welcome. My name is Max Haddad. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because we need to talk. There is so much bullshit that goes around. Talk about addiction, talk about what to do for somebody who's addicted, talk about what to do if you're the addict. A lot of opinions. Obviously, I'm here sharing my opinion all the time. So I'm not saying that everything you hear is wrong. It's definitely not what I'm saying. People that have gone through hell are much better at helping you get through it yourself, okay? But there is one super insidious comment that is made about addiction all the time. Addicts all the time. I heard it at AA. I've heard it from doctors after waking up from an overdose. I've probably heard it from my parents, friends, girlfriends. You hear it all the time from people who heard it from somewhere else and are repeating it because it sounds correct, okay? And I'm here today to put an end to it because I think it's doing more damage than it's doing good. So what I'm talking about is when people say, well, since you got sober, you're still an addict, so you have to be obsessed and addicted to something else. You have to change one addiction for the other. So, go get addicted to exercise. Go get addicted to reading. Go get addicted to playing guitar. You have to aim your addiction at something beneficial because you're an addict. Once an addict, always an addict. You got to be addicted to something. There was even a movie about the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the founders, Bill W., that was called Where Do We Aim What We Thirst For? As in, hey, you're addicted? Well, you're fucked for life, so you better aim it somewhere good. And I'm here to tell you that that is a load of bullshit. It's bullshit. Okay, here's my opinion on it. There's about a 20% chance I'm going to get halfway through this recording and realize I'm making no sense and have to start again. So bear with me. Future me, sorry if you're having to make a bunch of edits, but here's my opinion on it, okay? Here's my experience with it, my direct experience with it. I've put a lot of time thinking about this lately because somebody said it to me again. I'm not mad at people when they say it to me. It's just like every time it's like, that doesn't strike me as correct. It strikes me as ignorant, honestly. And I don't mean that in a like, you're ignorant, but just uninformed, basically. When you are doing anything 100 hours a week, okay, which let's say that's probably the bare minimum amount of time that somebody who is officially addicted to a drug spends thinking about the drug, trying to get money to get the drug, getting the drug, using the drug, recovering from the drug, going to the hospital for the drug, going to jail because of the drug, every week. And I'm not even saying like it's, only, heroin and meth addicts. I'm saying if you're smoking pot every day, all day, or most of the day, you're spending tons of time finding out how to buy pot, finding a new dealer, buying the pot, saving up money for the pot. You really should be paying rent, but you got to buy the pot. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the drug is. You're spending tons of time getting the drug, okay? But take the drug out of it. We're just talking about people in general. If somebody is doing something 100 hours a week, let's say, for example, you've got an insanely demanding job, right? You work on the stock market, shit's crazy. You're working 100 hours for a boss that doesn't like you. Whatever, you're trying to get ahead, you're killing yourself by working 100 hours. One day, you wake up and you say, hey, this sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. So you stop. All of a sudden, you've got 100 hours that you have to fill with something, okay? Even if that something is literally sitting on the couch doing nothing, that's still doing something. Time has to go by. It has to be filled some way. That 100 hours is not just subtracted and there's 100 less hours in your week. You have to fill it somehow, okay? Anyone, not just addicts, anyone who has done one thing for hundreds of hours every week and is now given all that time back is going to fill it however they see fit, okay? So let's say and they're probably not going to be very good about filling it, right? You go to the gym. Let's say that you go to the gym for half of the amount of time that you spent working that job, 50 hours a week. That's a crazy amount of time to go to the gym. But you have to fill that time somehow. You have to, right? So people looking in are going to say, that dude's obsessed with the gym. No, he's just got all this extra time on his hands. Or you're going to sit on the couch 7 hours a day, right? To fill that extra time. Or that dude's lazy. He just sits on the couch all day watching TV. No, he just had a job and he worked 100 hours a week. He or she, whatever, they can definitely do it. They can definitely work hard, but now they've got all this extra time on their hands that they haven't had for a long time, and they don't know how to fill it. They're trying their best to fill it, okay? It doesn't mean that they're addicted to that new thing. They haven't had to aim their addiction, right? Because we're not talking about somebody that's addicted. We're talking about somebody who had no time, given tons of time, right? Now, there are other indicators that people see that they use to validate themselves saying, once an addict, always an addict, right? They've seen their boyfriend get sober, and now all he does, start to use the gym again, but it happens quite a bit, go to the gym. Now he's obsessed with eating healthy and going to the gym, and he's never going to be big enough, right? He's huge, he's muscular, he's in great shape, but he still doesn't feel like he's big enough. That's just somebody's drive to want to get better. That doesn't mean you're addicted at something. If you love something, if you're truly enjoying something and part of that something is improving, you're never going to feel like you're where you want to be, right? There's only a few things in my life where I got to a point that I said, yeah, I don't really care to improve at this. I'm happy with where I am. And it's because I didn't like those things very much. It had nothing to do with whether I was addicted or not. Now, the reason that I think this is insidious, super detrimental, particularly to the relationship between normal people, boo, not a real thing, and addicts, is part of the plight of the addict. And people who have addicts in your family will know this, or people who are addicted, you're going to know this with some level of self-awareness. One of the biggest parts of addiction is isolation, feeling separate from everyone else, going into a room full of people and feeling totally alone, even if all of those people are your friends, okay? Now, what happens when you tell an addict that even though you've gotten sober, you're still an addict, you have to be addicted to something? You're not granting them the grace to be a normal person just like you. You're saying, well, sorry about your struggle, glad you're sober, but you're still different. You're still separate from us. Do you see what I'm saying? If you care to, I would love it if you would think about this over the next few days, whatever. Anyone with a ton of time put back on their plate after doing one thing, hundreds of hours a week for a very, very long time, is going to struggle for a while to figure out how to use that time appropriately. So it might be filled with one thing way too much. That doesn't mean that they're addicted to that thing. Even if they love that thing and they're pushing themselves to get better at that thing, that's not addiction. That's a drive to succeed. That's a good thing. Don't label anyone's, addict or not, anyone's drive to succeed in a particular subject as addiction. Don't make it a pejorative, something to hurt them with, even if that's not your intention, which I'm sure 95% of the time when somebody says this to me or anyone else, they're not trying to hurt feelings. But that is the danger of repeating something that you've heard without thinking about it critically. The step forward to a healthier world is going to take a lot of individuals thinking critically about what they hear and see. Does it hold up to the light of reason or not? And I believe this one doesn't. I feel really strongly about this. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of people injecting their bad ideas into someone's world when that someone is trying to recover from a fatal mental illness, okay? Addiction kills people. You guys know that. It destroys families. It doesn't matter if you're the addict or not. It kills people, not just addicts, right? Be a little more prudent about the information that you're spreading about recovering from this thing. I don't know how to play violin. I don't tell people how to do it. If I didn't know how to recover from addiction, I wouldn't give my opinion on it, or I would say, I don't know. Right? I'm not a marriage counselor because it hasn't worked out for me and my gal pals. The problem of addiction, okay, is not an issue of time management, which is what this, you were an addict and you're still an addict, even though you're sober, you have to aim it somewhere else. That makes it sound like you're never going to manage your time wisely, so you might as well aim it at something productive. That's not the foundation of this disease. The foundation of this disease is a deficit in emotion or a surplus in emotion. You either don't feel good, or you feel disconnected and jaded, or you feel awful. You have too many negative feelings, right? Sometimes mania is involved. Maybe you do feel too good, right? That's there. It's a deficit or it's a surplus. That's it. It has nothing to do with, did I make my schedule appropriately, right? Am I really, checking my calendar? Oops, too many hours put into this thing. That's not it. So let's at least, if we don't have something good to say, let's at least stop saying bullshit in its place. Okay? Does that make sense? This is not directed at any of you, by the way. This is somebody in my personal life who I care about, and they're smart and they're empathetic. They did not say this to upset me, and I didn't say all this to them, right? I just said I'm not sure I believe that. We're moving forward. This country, America, the world is moving forward, but we have to do it together. And it's going to be a lot more difficult, and it's going to take a lot longer if we keep pushing people with problems to the outskirts by saying, even though you're getting better, you're always going to struggle with this. That sounds a lot like give up to somebody that is at the beginning of their road to recovery. And probably not just with addiction, but I don't know about anything other than addiction and a couple other mental illnesses. So I'm not going to say whether it is or it isn't exactly the same feeling. But for me, when somebody tells me, even though you're better, you're always going to be different, can make you want to quit. But I'm not going to. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Seriously, I care about each and every one of you. You guys, what do I want to say? All of your comments, all your likes, all of that tells me that I'm moving in the right direction. And I really, really appreciate it. All of you guys being engaged with me as we, trudge this road of YouTube and learning and thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. Leave a sub if you want, if you like what you see. Have a lovely day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.